Good morning. In the Bible, there is one particular number that appears more than any other number. What do you think that number is? You have a couple of seconds to think about it. Now, if you said it is number 12, you are wrong. It is actually number 3. I know you're smiling because you guessed the number right. Now, Jonah spends 3 days in the belly of the whale. Jesus is raised on the 3rd day. There are 3 loaves and 2 fish when Jesus faces the hungry crowd. Paul experiences 3 shipwrecks. Jesus takes 3 disciples to the mountain where he is transformed, Peter, John, and James. Last week, Jesus faced 3 temptations in the desert. Jesus prays 3 times to God in the Garden of Gethsemane. There are 3 people crucified, the 2 thieves and Jesus. The sentence that led to crucifixion is written in 3 languages and put right on the cross. There are 3 kings and 3 gifts in the manger. Peter denies Jesus 3 times. Jesus comes back to him and asks him, "Do you love me?" 3 times. And there are, of course, 3 persons in the Holy Trinity. Next week there will be a test. Now, number 3 appears 467 times in the Bible. It is a perfect number. It signifies and symbolizes completeness. But the writers of the Gospels also use this number to invite us to connect stories together, to read those stories in light of each other, to connect the story of temptation to the story of transfiguration, to the Garden of Gethsemane, to the crucifixion, and to the resurrection. To read those stories together, one in light of the other. And they use number 3 to help us to make the connection. Now, I would suggest that number 3 is a perfect number for Lent as well. This Lent, we have invited everyone in our parish to consider not 1 question, not 2 questions, but 3 particular questions. Because 1 question is simply not enough. If you try to consider what to do for Lent or what not to do for Lent. And if you remember, the question number 1 is, where am I right now? How am I doing? Question number 2 is, where do I want to be? Or where do I hope to be? Or where is God calling me? Now, once you answer those 2 questions, there comes a time for question number 3. How am I going to get there? From where I am and to where I hope to be. And I think these questions are powerful and they can help us to grow in anything and to succeed in anything if we take time to ask these 3 simple questions. Now, last week, we reflected on Jesus' invitation to always try to make the right decisions in our lives. Not convenient decisions, not decisions that lead to instant gratification, but to really think about making the right decision. And ask yourself, what is it? What is the right decision? That was what we talked about last week when we look at Jesus making 3 significant right decisions when he was tempted. Now today, we would like to ask a follow-up question. What can help us make right decisions? Now, there are probably a lot of different answers, but one concrete answer can be found in today's gospel reading. And of course, it is a famous story of transfiguration. Jesus takes 3 disciples to a mountain where he is transfigured. His face shines like the sun, and his clothes are white as light. This is an amazing experience. So much so that Peter has an idea of what should be done. But he has also enough courtesy to consult with Jesus. And he says, Lord, it is good that we are here. If you wish, I will make 3 tents here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. Again, what we see is 3 disciples, 3 tents for 3 people. I always wonder where James, John, and Peter are going to sleep. Now, Peter wants to stay on the mountain a little bit longer. And who would blame him? It's an amazing experience. When you go on vacation to the Cape or Aruba, or maybe you go on a cruise, you always wish that you could stay there just a little bit longer. Don't you? We all do. But we do have to go back home to everyday life. Vacations, as amazing as they are, do come to an end. And I think that's what we see here. Peter just wants to stay a little bit longer. But the point is, now he has to go back to everyday life, to follow Jesus wherever Jesus will lead. The point is not to stay on the mountain. Now, but what is striking is that Jesus does not respond to Peter directly. Did you notice that? Who does? Matthew continues, while he was still speaking, behold, a bright cloud cast a shadow over them. Then from the cloud came a voice that said this, This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. So it is not Jesus who speaks or responds. It's the voice from the cloud. God responds directly to Peter. In fact, God does not even wait for Peter to finish and share his ideas. God interrupts in the middle of Peter speaking and says, listen to him. If you want to know what my will is, God says to Peter, listen to my beloved Son. If you want to know what needs to be done, listen to him. The point is this: right decisions happen when we take time to listen. Just think about that. Now, this theme of listening is also on display in our first reading, isn't it? From the book of Genesis, in this story of Abram. And this is what we read. The Lord said to Abram, go forth from the land of your kinsfolk and from your father's house to a land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. Now, what do you see here? God speaks directly to Abram. Abram listens, and at the end of the day, Abram does what God tells him to do. Even though he does not know exactly what the final destination is. But he trusts that as long as he listens to God, God will bless him. Why? Because God promised him that God will bless him. So, in conclusion, my friends, this land, God invites all of us to simply listen. Listen to Jesus. Listen to one another. One way we will be more likely than not to make the right decisions is when we take time to listen. Listen to God. Listen to one another. Listen to what others think. Listen to how others feel about it. I found that one of the most fascinating questions that you can ask, and in fact, this is the question that Peter is asking in today's gospel when he speaks to Jesus. One of the most amazing questions is this: what do you think? What do you think I should do? How do you think I should go about this? You see, if I take time and have courage to ask this question, whether it is in my prayer with God or when it comes to people around me, again, amazing things can happen. In particular, if I'm open to listen to what's being said to me. So again, the invitation today is to listen to God and to one another.